Trump redet Klartext und spart nicht mit deutlichen Worten. Migration außer Kontrolle, fatale Fehler in der Energiepolitik und eine politische Elite, die ihre eigenen Länder schwächt. Er warnt, wenn Europa so weitermacht, steht mehr auf dem Spiel als nur politische Debatten. Es geht um Stabilität, Sicherheit und die Zukunft ganzer Nationen.
They're not doing a good job. Europe is not doing a good job in many ways. If you take a look at Paris, it's a much different place. I loved Paris. It's a much different place than it was. If you take a look at London, you have a mayor named Khan. NATO calls me daddy. I think they're weak, but I also think that they want to be so politically correct. I think they don't know what to do. Europe doesn't know what to do.
Wenn er sagt, Europa mache keinen guten Job und wisse nicht mehr, was es tun soll, dann ist das eine scharfe Kritik an der politischen Führung. Viele Bürger haben genau dieses Gefühl. Probleme wachsen, doch klare Lösungen bleiben aus. Statt entschlossen zu handeln, wirkt vieles planlos und getrieben. Genau dieses Gefühl von Orientierungslosigkeit spricht er hier offen an.
They're not doing a good job. Europe is not doing a good job in many ways. They're not doing a good job.
I want to ask
They
you
talk
about
too
that.
much, and they're not producing. We're talking about Ukraine. They talk, but they don't produce. And the war just keeps going on and on. I mean, 4 years now it's been going on, long before I got here. This is not my war, this is Joe Biden's war. And in terms of America, it's a very sad thing. And the only reason I really care about it is because I hate to see young, beautiful people being killed. That's largely why I got involved. I mean, if you look at the Congo and Rwanda, that's been going on, 14 million people at least killed. Nobody has any idea how many, but killed. Machetes, a lot of machete killings, vicious. But if you look at the wars, and some of the wars that really were going to be millions and millions of people. The Prime Minister of Pakistan said, I saved millions of people by getting involved with the, stopping India and Pakistan from fighting.
I do want to go back to Europe for a moment, though, because you said they're not doing a lot of things right in your view. And just
well, they can't be doing right because look what's happened.
Well, your administration just released a new national security strategy that sent shockwaves throughout Europe. The strategy says a key pillar of American foreign policy should be, quote, cultivating resistance to Europe's current trajectory within European nations. How much should European leaders prepare for your administration to push to reshape the continent's politics?
Well, Europe is a different place.
What do you mean by that?
And if it keeps going the way it's going, Europe will not be, in my opinion, many of those countries will not be viable countries any longer. Their immigration policy is a disaster. What they're doing with immigration is a disaster. We had a disaster coming, but I was able to stop it. We have no people coming through our borders now. 0, 7 months. I mean, who would believe 0? We went from millions of people, in some cases millions of people a month, but millions of people to no people.
That's not what Europe looks like.
The opposite, yeah. I know Europe, they're coming in from all parts of the world, not just the Middle East. They're coming in from the Congo, tremendous numbers of people coming from the Congo. And even worse, they're coming from prisons of the Congo and many other countries. And for some reason, they want to be politically correct, which actually I think is the opposite of politically correct, but they want to be politically correct and they don't want to send them back to where they came from. And Europe is, if you take a look at Paris, it's a much different place. I loved Paris. It's a much different place than it was. If you take a look at London, you have a mayor named Khan.
Wenn Trump sagt, Europa mache in vielerlei Hinsicht keinen guten Job, ist das eine deutliche Abrechnung mit der politischen Führung. Viele Menschen erleben steigende Unsicherheit, hohe Belastungen und das Gefühl, dass Probleme nicht mehr gelöst, sondern nur verwaltet werden. Und wenn er auf Städte wie Paris verweist, die sich stark verändert haben, dann spricht er genau das aus, was viele bei ihren eigenen Beobachtungen denken: Europa ist nicht mehr das, was es einmal war. Wenn du auch findest, dass hier endlich mal Klartext gesprochen wird und Europa wieder starke Führung statt leere Versprechen braucht, dann zeig es mit einem Like. Und wenn du solche Analysen regelmäßig sehen willst, abonnier den Kanal, damit diese Perspektive nicht untergeht.
NATO calls me daddy. I mean, I have a lot to say about it. Look, I raised, the GDP from 2% to 5%. The 2% they weren't paying and the 5% they are paying. And they're paying it because when we send things over, NATO pays for it, and I assume they give it to Ukraine. But Europe is being destroyed.
Would you consider getting involved in some of those elections to put in leaders that you think are better suited?
Well, I've endorsed people, but I've endorsed people that a lot of Europeans don't like. I've endorsed Viktor Orban. I endorsed, go back to South America, Latin America, South America, Milei, Argentina. He was losing in the election, and I endorsed him, and he won in a landslide.
Yeah, with Viktor Orban, beyond endorsing, he recently said that you promised him access to U.S.-backed financial shield worth up to $20 billion. Is that right?
No, I didn't promise him, but he certainly asked for it. But
would you consider giving that to him?
I just think he's doing a very good job in a different sense on immigration. His country's landlocked. You know, he's got a different kind of a country. He doesn't have the sea, so he can't have ships coming in with energy. He's got a big pipe coming in from Russia. They've had it for a long time. It's a different situation he's got.
So would you consider some financial assistance there?
He's really gotten right is the immigration, because he allows nobody in his country. And Poland has done a very good job in that respect too. But most European nations, they're decaying. They're decaying.
You can imagine some leaders in Europe are a little freaked out by what your posture is, and European.
No, they should be freaked out by what they're doing to their countries. They're destroying their countries.
Well, European Council President.
And they're people I like. Look, they're people I like. I get along with them. You know that. But they can't let this happen, and it gets to a point where you can't really correct it. There'll be a point, and it's very close to that point.
And what will that mean?
It will mean that they're no longer going to be strong nations.
Does that mean they won't be allies
Or
anymore?
they'll be, well, it depends, you know, it depends. They'll change their ideology, obviously, because the people coming in have a totally different ideology. But it's going to make them much weaker. They'll be much weaker, and they'll be much different.
And what will that mean for our relationship
look at
with
your mayor
them?
of London. He's a disaster. He's a disaster. He's got a totally different ideology of what he's supposed to have. And he gets elected because so many people have come in and they vote for him now, because, you know, it's like, it's one of those things. But I hate what's happened to London, and I hate what's happened to Paris. I hate when I see it.
You know, sir, it's sometimes hard to tell when you say these things. Do you intend to send kind of a message of tough love to our allies to push them to make reforms, or do you think that many of them are just weak and you don't really want to be allies with them?
I think they're weak, but I also think that they want to be so politically correct. I think they don't know what to do. Europe doesn't know what to do.
Wenn Trump sagt, selbst die NATO nenne ihn Daddy und gleichzeitig Europa nicht wisse, was es tun soll, zeichnet er ein Bild von schwacher Führung auf dem Kontinent. Seine Botschaft ist klar. Während er Stärke und Durchsetzung betont, wirken viele europäische Regierungen orientierungslos und zögerlich. Genau dieses Gefühl, dass klare Linie und Entschlossenheit fehlen, spricht er hier offen an. Danke fürs Zuschauen. Wenn dir klare Worte wichtiger sind als politisches Schönreden, lass ein Like und ein Abo da. Teile das Video mit anderen, damit diese Themen mehr Aufmerksamkeit bekommen.